Hello everyone, welcome to What If Ayanokouji joined late during mid-year exams and lead the failing class movie. Before we start, please go support Tommy Moore1 for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistaken character's gender, but of course Ayanokouji is a male. Ayanokouji Kiyotaka, with the help of his butler Matsuo, transferred to ANHS, but he transferred to Class D at the end of the summer vacation. Will he stop? No. He's already learned what a normal life is, he won't stop. The transfer. It was the Monday after the end of summer vacation, but no one wanted to enjoy it. This was the situation in Class D. They hadn't made any process to ascend. After failing the previous special exams, they had nothing left and were still at 0 points. Class D is labeled as having 40 students failing. Now they have 30 students. They lost 10 students in the first exam. After several failed exams, came the loss of the spirit of their supposed leader, Hirata Yasuke. Tabashirase entered the classroom with a smile that seemed strange to the students when they saw their teacher with a smile. "Good morning everyone, I have an important announcement to make," he said with a smile from ear to ear. For the second time, they saw more than a frown on their teacher's face, a smile. Class D became tense at the thought that there would be a special exam. The girl with beige hair raised her hand. "Sensei, isn't this going to be a special exam?" "No," gave a brief answer. "For the first time at ANHS there will be a transfer student," he replied, still smiling. The murmurs began. "The transfer student? In the middle of the year? Is it a boy?" "Silence, you can come in now," said a boy with brown hair and golden eyes and an apathetic face. "I'm not very good with introductions, so I'll be brief," the boy said before continuing. "I'm Ayanokouji Kiyotaka. My hobbies are playing the piano, reading, and cooking. I hope we can be friends," he said in a monotonous voice without changing his expression. Most of the girls smiled when they heard that the boy knew how to cook. Few boys knew how to cook. "And I would also like to lead this class," said Ayanokouji before finishing his presentation. "What?" The whole class was upset upon hearing the boy's words. There were people confused. The black-haired girl raised her hand. "Yes," Horikita Chabashira said to give her the word. "Because you want to lead this class, do you take into account the competitions?" The girl said to the boy. "That's right, the school informed me everything about the competitions," he said. "And why help this kind of defective? They are all useless and defective," he said, throwing poison. Horikita-san, that's a little harsh," said the beige-haired girl. "Kishida, I won't stand idly by when someone thinks they can lead this class," Horikita said. The cute blonde-haired girl named Kishida was silenced by Horikita's sharp tongue. Kishida sat back down with a worried look on her face. "Oh, that reminds me, my second announcement," said the teacher. Sensei suddenly spoke, catching Horikita's and my attention. The smile on her face widened. It seemed she had a plan. Sensei then began clapping, earning confused looks from her students. "Congratulations, Ayanokouji, for being the first student in all of ANHS to earn a perfect score on every test," he said, clapping. "Apparently, their plan was to expose my score to the entire class." "Huh?" "Throughout. Isn't that great then?" Murmurs of my result circulated in the class. "Did he take the same test as us?" The boy with glasses questioned what the sensei said. "Of course it was the same. Would you like to see the exam?" "Please don't add fuel to the fire, sensei." "Incredible, some questions weren't from our year." The same boy with glasses muttered. "You're amazing, Ayanokouji-kun," said Kishida. "Thank you, Kishida," I thanked him. "TCH Eichmann," someone muttered. "Or so I thought, Ichiro called me the same thing once, apparently it means enemy of all men." I mentally sighed at that. "Then I can't understand why you're in Class D." Horikita suddenly voiced her opinion, regaining the class's attention. "Yeah, that's weird. The school put him wrong. It must be true." Some of the class started to think the same as Horikita. "I can assure you that Ayanokouji is not misplaced, he is definitely in Class D," Sensei said. "So, could you explain why you're in Class D?" From the look, Horikita would want an explanation. Apparently the class also wanted an explanation. "It's really simple, Ayanokouji chose to be in Class D," said Sensei. Confusion grew on the faces of the students. Even Horikita couldn't understand. Why would anyone want to be in the defective class? "What do you mean he chose to be in Class D, sensei?" "Ayanokouji's entry into ANHS is quite special, don't you think? The first transfer and coincidentally the first to pass the entrance exam, so the school decided to reward his achievements by allowing him to choose his own class," said Sensei. Everyone's eyes widened upon hearing Sensei's explanation, but the silence didn't last long when Horikita turned her gaze towards me. "The school made you choose your class before explaining the competitions to you." It seems that no one wanted to believe that I intentionally chose the class knowing the current situation of the class competitions, rather for everyone it was the only credible explanation and, judging by the pitying looks I'm receiving from everyone, they are thinking the same way or they somewhat agree with Horikita, I sighed, knowing that my answer would cause a commotion. No. I made my own decision knowing the class skills and evaluated the class skills myself. No one said a word, not even Horikita, she looked at me with wide eyes, completely incredulous at the decision I made. You're completely crazy. Horikita muttered to herself, but was quickly supported by the same boy with glasses, who stood up in disbelief from his chair. Are you stupid? Why are you doing that to yourself? I don't care if you pass the entrance exam, just. An idiot would do that. My decision angered him more than the others. It's because I wanted to help. Everyone unconsciously expressed their confusion, even the boy with glasses couldn't maintain the same intensity of anger in his gaze that was now expressing confusion. The only surprising sight was that of the blonde boy in the back, smiling and looking at himself in the mirror. And some life was reflected in the eyes of the gloomy man sitting in front. You have 0 class points, you've placed last in all the special exams that the classes have already taken, and you've expelled 10 students from the class. Looking at the situation logically, it's clear why you would think the same way you're thinking right now. I started talking, reminding them of their situation, making them look down with shame on some faces and frustration on others. But someone told me that helping isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially if you can do something about it. Most of them looked at me, curiosity filling their eyes, but that didn't really matter, because I would be leading this class, that was the decision I made to understand what Matsuo was telling me. I know I have no credibility other than my entrance exam score right now, but my intention to get you into Class A is real. Some of you may be thinking this is nonsense. Some of you may think I'm wasting your time, but I'm not. You got here too, right? Their attention was riveted on me, the confusion and astonishment visible on their faces. I don't know what kind of exams you faced, but please don't forget that you came to this school. This school was created to create elites, like yourselves. Doesn't that mean you have the potential to be elite in the first place? As if a silent realization hit them, they couldn't help but look at me, my words slowly catching their eye. The school believed it and so did I. Don't let being called flawed stop you from thinking otherwise. Even a scratch gem can fetch a high price, as long as it's polished. It was your effort that got you here and your effort that allowed you to stay this far, so don't sell yourself short. I truly believed in these words, the words had the most positive impact on them, judging by the shocked look most of the class is giving me, some had teary eyes, and some cried wait, did I say too much? The gloomy guy in front had tears in his eyes, as did he, the little girl with 2 pigtails in front, wiped her tears with her hands. I put my hands in my pocket as I walked in front of her and took out a handkerchief. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make anyone cry. I apologized as I offered my handkerchief. And no, I'm fine. I didn't mean to cry for real. She said shakily while politely rejecting me. It's just a handkerchief, please. Take it. But thank you. You're welcome. After scanning the entire room I could see a funny smile from sensei, as if to say what a show you put on. I sighed mentally. I'll say it one more time, let me be your leader. Ichinis, Ryuin, Sakayanagi. Let me be your leader, said the boy. Everyone was amazed by the boy's determination to become the leader of Class D. Suddenly someone clapped, then the applause continued. Class D agreed that the individual Ayanokouji Kiyotaka would be the leader of Class 1D. I support you, Ayanokouji. Me too. Ayanokouji's genial. Horikita remained silent upon seeing the support she was receiving. Silence. Now Ayanokouji, choose your seat. He said. Yes, sensei. There was an empty seat in the middle of the class. Apparently we'll be seatmates, Ayanokouji-kun. Kishida said excitedly. So it seems, Kishida. I forgot to introduce myself properly, I'm Kishida Kikyo, nice to meet you, Ayanokouji-kun. He said, to which I nodded. Well, that's all. Said sensei before leaving. When Shabashira-sensei left, Hoshinomiya-sensei came in. Yahoo, Ayanokouji-kun Daiho Hoshinomiya-sensei. Good morning, Hoshinomiya-sensei, I said in my monotonous voice. Ayanokouji-kun, I told you to call me Che-chan. She said, pouting. Seriously, this woman is problematic, all I can do is play along with her game. Suspiro si Che-chan. You're no fun, Ayanokouji-kun. Can sensei do the class? I said, already a little annoyed. She just pouted. Class just watched in silence this conversation between sensei and me. For the next few minutes, Hoshinomiya-sensei kept staring at me every time he turned around to explain to the class. Okay, that's all for today, you can go have lunch. Said sensei, but before he left he gave me a wink. Seriously, this woman is trouble, I muttered. Ayanokouji-kun, do you want to come have lunch with us? Said Kushida. Sure, I said as I looked behind Kushida. I saw other people. I took my bento and went with them. In the cafeteria. Go buy your food, I'll go find a table. I said. Okay, thanks Ayanokouji-kun. Said Kushida. Yes, I said, giving a brief answer. When I entered the table I sat down and waited for the others to arrive. It would be rude to eat before the others arrive, so I will wait for them. A few minutes passed and they arrived. Oh, thanks for waiting. Said Kushida, to which the others nodded. After finishing eating we went to the living room, the bell rang and we settled down. It was our turn for history class. I have no ideas XD. Well, that's all for today, remember to study for the next exam, said Chabashira-sensei before leaving the classroom. I started waiting for my things when suddenly someone opened the living room door very loudly. Everyone looked at the door, some were scared, others had serious looks, or simply ignored him. Hello, class of defectives. Said the magenta-haired boy. The gloomy boy in the front row stood up, disturbed by the boy's presence. I bet you sold Ryun. Said the gloomy boy to the guy called Ryun. The guy just laughed with a somewhat strange laugh. Bukuku, calm down prince, I just came to greet the new student, said Ryun with his strange laugh. So he's coming for me, how troublesome. Walk to where I was. Bukuku, what's your name? Don't you think it's impolite to ask someone's name without having given it yours? I said in a monotone. Bukuku, no, I don't think so, now tell me your name, he said angrily. Ayanokouji Kiyotaka, I said without changing my expression. Ryun Kakeru, remember why I'm going to change that shitty expression on your face, he said angrily. I didn't answer and he got angrier. He threw a kick near my face. Ryun, no. Said the gloomy boy. Not even a change of expression, he said, somewhat surprised. Bukuku, I'm going to destroy you, he said with an amused expression. He threw another kick, but this time I caught it with my hand. Ryun, if you continue using violence, I'll have to tell the student council. Said a pretty girl entering the classroom. Bukuku, calm down, Ichinus, we were just playing, said Ryun. I don't think so, said the girl named Ichinus. Bukuku, well I'm leaving, goodbye defectives. Said Ryun before leaving the room. I'm sorry for Ryun's behavior, Ichinus said. Okay, thanks for helping me. I forgot to introduce myself, I'm Ichinus Hanami and this is Kanzaki Ryuji, we're from class C. Ichinus said with a smile. Ayanokouji Kiyotaka, nice to meet you, I said. Nice to meet you Ayanokouji-kun. I almost forgot. Ayanokouji-kun, the student council president needs you to be here tomorrow after school. I see, well tell him I'll be there. Well, that was all, I'm leaving, bye. Said Ichinus before leaving. So you're Ayanokouji Kiyotaka, said a boy as he walked through the door. That's right, you are. Masayoshi Hashimoto, a pleasure, he said, smiling. Okay, so what do you want? I said to get to the point. Nothing, just that Haim wanted me to take a picture of you. He said. Give me 20.00 points, I said. Deal, he said. Good. Smile at least. No, thanks. Okay, see you Ayanokouji, he said and left the hall. So well goodbye everyone, I said. After leaving the living room I went directly to the bedrooms. They gave me my key to my room. My room was 401, in the white room that was my code. When I opened my room, everything was tidy. I left my bag on the table and went to prepare something to eat. After finishing preparing, I started eating. After eating, I went to take a bath and then I brushed my teeth and went to sleep. So this day has been busy. Student council. I got out of bed, did my workout routine, I may not be in that place, but I want to keep my body in shape. After finishing the exercises, I went to the bathroom to shower, finished and made my breakfast. I finished eating, brushed my teeth, and went to school. I closed my bedroom door and got ready to go to school. When I got to the living room, I opened the door and everyone looked to see who it was. Good morning Ayanokouji-kun. Said Kushida with a smile. Good morning Ayanokouji-kun, the little girl with two pigtails, greeted me stuttering. Good morning everyone, I said in my monotonous voice. Ayanokouji-kun, I forgot to introduce myself, said the little girl before continuing, my name is Mei Yu Wang, you can call me Mi-chan, she said, finishing her introduction. Nice to meet you Mi-chan, I said. And nice to meet you, he said. I went to the front of the class, I need to know your names for this to work. Hello, good morning everyone. I wanted to ask if you could introduce yourselves so I know who you are, please, I said before continuing. You can start from the front row. The gloomy guy stood up, my name is Hirata Yasuke, he said. Well, thanks for introducing yourself. But that the introductions continued and I found an interesting one, like Konji Rasuke or others who are good at sports. The bell rang indicating math class. Sorry I have no ideas xddd. When the math subject was over, it was recess. Then it was our turn to play history. After science. And to the last Englishman. Well, that's all for today. Have a nice afternoon, said Machima-sensei before leaving. I was putting away my things when a girl with purple hair came in. Hello, this is Ayanokouji Kiyotaka, he said. It's me, I said. Okay, follow me, she said before continuing, I'm Tachibana Kane, the student council secretary. Ungusto Tachibana-senpai. I thought he was a first year because of his height. Did you just think something inappropriate? He said. Is this what they call female intuition? No, I just thought I didn't know where the student council room was and I was grateful that you came to get me, I said. I see. He continued walking until he reached a large door. Before you enter, be respectful to the president, he said, to which I just nodded. Tachibana-senpai knocked on the door and we heard her come in. He opened the door and we saw two guys, one had black hair with a serious look, the other was blonde with blue eyes and a nasty smile. Good afternoon, Ayanokouji Kiyotaka, said the black-haired boy, I am the student council president, Horikita Manabu. Horikita? Are they siblings? Good afternoon, Horikita-senpai. Please take a seat. Thank you. Do you want tea? If it's not too much trouble. Good, Tachibana. Yes, Mr. President. Well, Ayanokouji Kiyotaka, I invited you here because I wanted to talk to you. He said before continuing, I'll get straight to the point. Why did you choose to be in Class D? Tachibana-senpai put the teacup on the table and went back to what he was doing. I just wanted to help, I said, taking the cup of tea. When I said that they were surprised to hear my answer. I don't want to sound rude, but Class D is full of defectives, said Tachibana-senpai. It's true, no one would want to be in Class D, only a fool, said the blonde-haired senpai. Well, maybe I am a fool after all, I said, taking another cup of tea. My answer angered him. DSK. Why help a kind of defective? There must be a very good reason, said Elder Horikita. Who knows? Maybe he just wanted to help, or maybe not, I said. I didn't join the class to really help. I see, he said, giving a brief reply, you're interesting, Ayanokouji Kiyotaka. Anything else you need from me? No. I see, well then I'm leaving. The school will have a sports festival, and that will be the next exam, said Horikita the elder. If I could smile I would, I took my cell phone and paused a recorder. What would happen if the school found out that the same student council gave information about the upcoming special exam to a student? I said. Everyone's eyes widened. Older Horikita smiled. How many points do you want to delete what you recorded? Said Elder Horikita. 50,000 points, I said. Deal, said Elder Horikita. Nagumo, you pay too, Horikita said to Nagumo-senpai. DSK. They deposited the stitches for me. Okay, delete it yourself, I said, passing my phone to the Elder Horikita. He nodded, then turned back to me. Well, with your permission I'll leave, goodbye, I said, leaving the room. When I left school I wanted to stop by the store. I bought what I wanted and walked to the dorms. Hey Ayanokouji-kun, I looked at who was calling me, and it was Mi-chan. Hello Mi-chan, I said. Hello, he said shyly. What were you doing? I was shopping at the store. I see, I said. Mi-chan, I want to ask you a question about the class. I don't think it'll be much help. Okay, I trust you, I said. Good. Well, what intrigues me is why did Ryuin call Harada a prince? I said. When I said that his expression turned bitter. Sorry if it's a sensitive topic, I said. And no, calm down. From the beginning, Harada was kind, gentle, and always helpful. But when May came, he became a little cold. He said that if we made a study group, we would help the students with bad grades. But everything changed when, in the first exam, we lost 6 students. He became strict, saying that it was mandatory to attend the study group, he said before continuing. Then, in the second exam, we lost 4. He became distant, cold, and scary. Girls wanted to get close to him, but he ignored them, he said, sobbing a little. Then there was the island exam, and we lost. Then, another exam, and we lost too. And ever since then, he's been like this, he said. I see, thanks for telling me everything, I said. Why, you're welcome. We arrived at the bedroom. Ayanokouji-kun, you can wait for me here, she said nervously. Of course. He ran to the elevator. Minutes later he arrived. Here, this is your handkerchief, she said blushing, I washed it and wanted to give it to you. Oh, thanks, but you didn't have to do that. It's nothing. Well, I appreciate it, I said. She just nodded. Well, see you Mi-chan. Adios, Ayanokouji-kun. Cool. Share. The day is Friday. I spent the last few days socializing with most of the class. It was very exhausting. Who would have thought that girls could spend so many hours looking at clothes and not buy anything? When I walked into the hall today, I was greeted from left to right. "Good morning, friend," said Akito. "Good morning," I said in my monotonous voice. So discouraged in the morning. That's how I am. Akito and I became friends this week. I walked over to my seat and sat down. I hadn't noticed before, but the kids were really excited. Did something happen? Kishida, a question. Did something happen that the boys are excited about? I said. Kishida was going to answer, but a short-haired girl answered. Every Friday we go to the pool, and the boys in the class get excited to see the girls' bodies, they really are perverts. He said before continuing. Oh. Sorry, I butted into the conversation. Don't worry, thanks for explaining it to me, I said. I'm Onodera Kayano, I'm in the swimming club. Nice to meet you, said Onodera. A pleasure, Onodera. Wow, Leader-kun is very popular. Leader-kun? You already have a nickname for me. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself, he said before continuing. I'm Ninmori, nice to meet you, Leader-kun, he said, winking. A pleasure. How discouraged, Leader-kun, said Mori. Iba responder pero justo entro Chabashira-sensei. Everyone to their seats. Let the class begin. After all the classes it was time for the pool class. I was walking towards the locker room with Akito while we were talking. When we arrived we all changed, but suddenly everything went silent. What's going on? I asked, as everyone was looking at me in surprise. Man, you have a good body, Akito said. That was awkward. Do you exercise? That's right, I saw no reason to lie to him so I told the truth. I finished changing so I went to check out the pool. It's big and long, but it doesn't compare to that place. Man, I'm still not used to this pool, said Akito. It's true, it's big, I said. Where are the girls? Said a boy sniffing like a dog. I better stay away so I don't get labeled a pervert. I really can't get used to this place, said a girl. The girls have arrived, said the boys. There were few girls, well I don't blame them, there are many perverts. I was talking with Akito when Kishida approached us with her group of friends. Wow, Ayanokouji-kun. You have a nice body, said Kishida. Do you exercise? That's right, when I was a kid my parents were very demanding, I said. Since I was homeschooled, I never had the opportunity to do things I want. I said, obviously lying. Wow, that's sad, said Mi-chan, joining the conversation. Well, some parents worry about their children's health, I said. It's true, he said, smiling. But in any case, Leader-kun. You have the perfect body, not too robust, but not too thin either, said Mori. Before he could answer, the teacher arrived. Okay, form lines. Same as always, said sensei. Good. Since we have a new student today, we're going to have a competition and whoever wins will get 5,000 points. He said. I was placed in group 2 barrel 2. The women will start first. As Onodera is in the swimming club she wins, but oh well. Group 1. Onodera. Nin. Sato. Mi-chan. Group 2. Horikita. Kishida. Shinohara. Inagashira. Matsushita. Those are the women's groups. Time jump. After the women. S race. Onodera won the 5,000 points for the women. Now it was our children's turn. Group 1. Akito. Akatani. Hondo. Yukamura. Group 2. Ayanokouji. Harada. Honji. Sotomura. Group 1 begins and in the first round Akito wins with a time of 28.92. Now Group 2. I positioned myself on barrel 2 next to Konji. Ayanokouji boy, I want a perfect existence like mine to compete with the masterpiece of that place, he said. How do you know about that place? Okay, but you'll have to answer my questions, I say. HMP. Alright Ayanokouji boy, I know you have a lot of questions and I will answer them, he said. Okay, in that case I won't hold back, I say. That's all I want, Ayanokouji boy. As soon as the whistle blew, I dived into the water at full speed. Konji may be a very good opponent, but he won't be able to defeat me that easily. I can hear the sounds of surprise from my companions. Wow. They are very fast. Upon reaching the surface, I see that I arrived before Konji. Due to 2192, he said with wide eyes. Suddenly everything became very noisy. Wow, boy, you're fast. Do you want to join the swimming club? Said sensei. I'm sorry sensei, but I'm afraid that won't be possible, I'm not interested in any club, I said. Alright. Ayanokouji-kun. You're amazing. Said Onodera. It's no big deal. It's not a big deal, you almost broke the world record. He said. I guess so, I said. Okay. Ayanokouji receives your 5,000 points. Said sensei. Thank you, sensei. It seems you've won me over, Ayanokouji boy. That's right, I want you to answer my questions later. Sure, I'm leaving now. I have a date with some girls. Okay. Well, that's the end of the class. See you next Friday, bye. Konji. The sun's rays showed through my window. Today is Saturday, the day I was going to meet Konji. I'm in my room lying down, and the agreed time was 2:30 in the afternoon. It's 12 o'clock sharp, I still have time so I'm going to sleep a little longer. In the dream of Ayanokouji. Dead in line. A man shouted. There were 50 boys and girls, all of these children were scared, trembling with fear, but there was one who stood out, this boy with brown hair and golden eyes, he had no expression of fear, he only showed a poker face, with his empty eyes, watching the others. This child was Ayanokouji Kiyotaka, a genius, the child at his age was a genius, an expert in martial arts and also in intelligence. Today someone very important is coming, he will observe your intelligence, said the instructor. Start. While the children were answering the questions, they struggled to answer some of them. They were scared because if they failed, something very bad would happen to them. A man with brown hair was walking around, scanning the children, but the man stopped at one. This boy wasn't scared or trembling with fear. He stood there with his apathetic face staring into space. The boy raised his head looking at the man looked at him with cold eyes and spoke. Kiyotaka, remember very well. Having power and not using it is the behavior of a fool, he said in a deep and authoritative voice. The boy stared at him with empty eyes and nodded. Kiyotaka-kun, said a girl, drawing Ayanokouji's attention, if I ever die, would you be sad? Said the girl. Ayanokouji thought about it, the obvious answer would be no, he wouldn't do it. Ayanokouji just remained silent. Changing the scene. Two children could be seen, but one was coughing on the floor clutching his chest, while the other looked at her with a blank expression, devoid of any emotion, just watching her, while the other just continued coughing, but suddenly. The girl stopped breathing, she had died, as she once asked Ayanokouji if he would be sad if she died, the answer is no, Ayanokouji felt no emotion, empty as his eyes, cold as his heart. And with the death of the girl he was left alone, without anyone, now he was the masterpiece of the White Room. End of the dream. Ayanokouji woke up agitated. That dream again, Ayanokouji muttered. He turned around to see what time it was on his watch. 2:15 p.m. I better take a bath. After bathing, he got dressed and went to the mall to meet Konji. Upon arriving at the mall, he sat on a bench, waiting for Konji. Well, Ayanokouji boy, it's a perfect existence to recognize that you're very punctual. There are still 10 minutes left, isn't there, masterpiece? Konji said. I say the same to you, Konji. As you say, there are only 10 minutes left, said Ayanokouji. Hahaha. Konji said laughing. Well, let's get straight to the point, Ayanokouji said in a serious voice. Straight to the point, huh? Well, if that's what you want, said Konji. Okay, answer my questions, said Ayanokouji. Sure. But why don't we go somewhere better? Said Konji. Okay, but which one? Don't worry about it, Ayanokouji boy. I made a reverberation in a restaurant, said Konji. Ayanokouji nodded in response. Okay, then guide me on my way. The restaurant was very luxurious, when Ayanokouji and Konji entered, they were served by the receptionist. Hello. Welcome, are you Konji Arakisuke? That's right, beautiful lady, said Konji. Ayanokouji just remained silent. Thanks for the compliment. Here's your table, she said, a little blushing. Good. They arrived at the table and sat down. Hello, good afternoon, I'll be your server today, said the waiter. What are you going to order? I want sushi, and you, Ayanokouji boy. Don't worry, everything will be on me, said Konji. I just want curry and ice cream for dessert. Okay, I'll bring your order in a few minutes, said the waiter before leaving. Okay, now for my questions. Of course, Ayanokouji boy. I'll answer your questions. How do you know my past? Ayanokouji said in a serious voice. My father is a powerful man, just like your father. He and your father were business partners. Your father asked him if he wanted to create a perfect human, but my father refused. Then he found out that the first, second, and third generations failed, but the fourth was the best. That's where you come in, Ayanokouji boy. He told me about this, and that's how I know about you, about the masterpiece, the fourth generation demon, isn't it, Ayanokouji? Said Konji. I see, he gave a brief reply. But that my questions were answered, thank you Konji, said Ayanokouji. Don't thank me, Ayanokouji boy. After that conversation, the waiter brought the dishes and they began to eat. They finished eating and left the restaurant. Well, that's all for today, see you on Monday, Konji. See you, Ayanokoji boy. Sports Festival Part 1. It's Monday, today I arrived to class and the usual people greeted me. Tabashira-sensei arrived to class. Hello, good morning everyone, said Tabashira-sensei. The second semester starts today. For a month, from September to October, there will be more gym classes. In preparation for the sports festival. They have the new schedules and information about the festival. It's also posted on the school website, he said. Ishida raises his hand and speaks. Sensei, is the sports festival also a special exam? He said. Take it as you wish. What is clear is that it will greatly influence the class, he replied. This didn't sit well with all the students. Not all of them are good at sports. At this year's festival, all classes will be divided into a white team and a red team. Class D and A are red teams. Shall we go with Class A? Murmured the bespectacled boy Yukimura Terahiko. There are second and third class people, Akito said. What a pain, muttered Matsushita Chiaki. Well, that's all for today, said Chabashira-sensei before leaving the class. Ayanokouji stands up and heads to the podium, drawing everyone's attention except Konji, who continues to look at himself in the mirror, smiling. Since I still don't know who the most athletic ones are, I would like to suggest you go to the gym to measure your strength and see who will participate, he said. We will win this sports festival, he continued. Horikita stands up, how can we trust you to win this sports festival? She said. As I said before, I will prove it with my actions. I know that some still don't trust me and that my exam to enter this school is one of my few actions, but I want to help them. He said, closing Horikita's mouth. Well, that's all, are you all agreed? He said. Everyone agreed. We are watching Class D measuring the strength of the boys and girls. Karuizawa Kei was in charge of the girls' list and Ayanokouji Kiyotaka was in charge of the boys' list. Ayanokouji made a deal with Konji the same day. Flashback. Konji, can we talk? Said Ayanokouji. Konji was about to leave when Ayanokouji called him. Sure, Ayanokouji boy. As a perfect existence, I'll let you talk to me, he said, smiling. Ayanokouji just nodded. Let's go to the roof, said Ayanokouji. Upon reaching the roof. Well, what do you want to talk to me about, Ayanokouji boy? Said Konji. I want you to help at the sports festival, he said. Ahahaha Konji laughed loudly. Ayanokouji boy, I'm not going to help a class of defectives, he continued. If you want me to help that kind of defective, I want you to do one thing for me, he said, smiling. If it's within my capabilities then it's fine, said Ayanokouji. I want you to have a fight with me, said Konji. Just that? Okay, fine. Don't contain yourself, Ayanokouji boy, said Koji. I don't know how to write fights XD, so I'll skip this part, sorry if you wanted to see a fight XD. I finished the fight and obviously Ayanokouji wins. Okay, since you won, I'm going to help Class D, said Konji, shaking Ayanokouji's hand, closing the deal. Okay, it's your turn, Konji, said Ayanokouji. Those who knew Konji thought he would refuse to take the test. Alright, Ayanokouji boy, said Konji. The others were very surprised. Konji has never participated in the special exams, and that is very surprising. Ayanokouji passes him the dynamometer. Force grip that appears in the anime. Konji measures his strength without holding back. How much? Said Ayanokouji. 90.9, said Konji smiling. In serio? Is it really strong? Wow. The murmurs began, everyone in Class D believed that Konji was just arrogant and self-centered. Okay, Karuizawa. How are you going with your list? Said Ayanokouji. They're all ready. Said Karuizawa. That's all for today, you can go, said Ayanokouji. Sports festival part. Please think that he has the AN's uniform XD. Well, without further ado I leave you with the reading. Tuesday, the day before the sports festival. Sei-sensei arrived to class with a smile, and that doesn't happen often. Good morning class, I have important news, he said with a smile from ear to ear. We have another transfer student, he continued. Hey, another one. It's a girl. How perverted. The murmurs of the students in Class D were heard. You can come in. With that, a girl with blonde hair and light blue eyes walked in. Introduce yourself, said Sei-sensei. Hello everyone. I'm Shizuku Suzuki. I don't have any particular hobbies, but I'm interested in everything. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Said the girl. Her voice was calm but also cheerful. What is she doing here? Why is she here? How did she survive? I saw her die with my own eyes. What's going on? Ayanokouji had a lot of doubts. He was very confused. He saw her die with his own eyes. She looked around the room and opened her eyes when she saw a brown-haired girl with golden eyes. Hey Kiyotaka. Said the girl. The boy's eyes were wide open. He thought it was a coincidence. They just looked alike, but the girl said his name, leaving him with no doubt. She was the same girl he saw die. Hey, are you Kiyotaka? Said the girl, about to burst into tears. The boy was unresponsive, he was in shock, how could he still be alive? It took him a few seconds to come out of his state of shock. This may hurt, but it doesn't matter, I have to do it, the boy thought before answering. Nara Ayanokouji. What are you doing here, Shizuku? I said in a cold voice. I couldn't see what was in front of me. I'd seen a ghost. My brain was blank, my eyes showing the ugliness I wanted to hide from everyone. It's me, Kiyotaka. I came to see you. Haha, aren't you going to give me a hug? I missed you. She's trying to be strong. Her desire to cry when she saw me grew, her emotions overflowed. That love of yours hasn't faded yet and I knew it. The class was stunned by his statement. Suzuki-san, what is your relationship with Ayanokouji-kun? Kishida asked. Kiyotaka and I were old childhood friends, but he moved away at the age of 6. He paused to take a deep breath before showing a wry smile. I loved him back then, he always smiled, we always played together, without knowing it I started to like him, but it was too late, he stopped once more. Looking at my classmates, many looked at her with pity, they knew what she was going to say next. I never got around to confessing to him. Seeing him again made my emotions resurface. I couldn't tell him back then that I loved him. Maybe fate gave me the chance to find him again. He said all this with tears threatening to fall, my companions looked at us with pity and anxiety. The teacher was standing there was no discussion, for her it was a teenage romance novel. Class is over, said Sei-sensei before leaving the class. Nobody wanted to move, not even Konji himself, who watched the scene with curiosity. A rather large sigh came out of my mouth. Which made everyone present look at me. So you say you love me, huh, Shizuku? I don't feel the same. It came naturally out of my mouth. Those words broke the silence in the room as the blonde-haired girl's cries echoed throughout the classroom. Shizuku, I'm sorry. The class looked at me in shock and anger at my statement, their initial illusion that this sincere meeting would result in the birth of a new love was idiotic. If they knew the true story then they wouldn't see this meeting that way. Although my emotions, the feelings buried deep in my heart, also threatened to resurface, my decision not to accept Shizuku. Her crying intensified, Kishida and Sato, who were watching the spectacle, went towards her to comfort her. The room had descended into chaos, the girls crying, and the questioning of my classmates destroyed the previously silent atmosphere. The class was in chaos. There was one day left until the sports festival. Potential new transfer students may enter this school. The girl who has just proclaimed her love has been rejected. The whole class had a lot of mixed feelings. Sorry Shizuku for everything. Sports Festival Part 3. I'm sorry, Shizuku, for everything. Ayanokouji thought. Everything was in chaos. The new student was rejected in the middle of the entire classroom. The sports festival was approaching. And potential transfer students. In Class D, the uncontrollable crying of the girl who has been rejected is heard. All the students except Konji had various reactions, it was so confusing, but also so much anxiety, anger and sadness. The girl proclaimed her love to her old childhood friend and was rejected. Ayanokouji didn't feel anything, but why was she attracted to her? Is it because she'd become a beauty? Or had she always felt that way? Shizuku continued crying, covering her face so they wouldn't see her face. Ayanokouji got up from his seat and walked over to where Shizuku was. Shizuku, can we talk in private? Ayanokouji said. What more do you want, Kiyotaka? You already rejected me. She exclaimed, frustrated. 7 years, Kiyotaka. I've been waiting for you for 7 years. He said as he punched the boy in the chest. Ayanokouji just remained silent, unable to utter a word because everything he said was true. He waited 7 years for them to meet again, 7 years until he could finally confess. And what happened? It was rejected. Ayanokouji didn't know this girl. She wasn't the Shizuku he knew. The Shizuku I knew was strong, not weak. 7 years, Kiyotaka, an audible murmur was heard from her. You're not the Shizuku I know. The girl I know isn't weak. I don't know you. Ayanokouji said. Those words broke Shizuku. I hate you, Ayanokouji Kiyotaka. I wish you had never been born. I wish we never made that promise. I wish I had never met you. She said angrily. She ran out of the living room with tears in her eyes, slamming the door. Class D was in shock, even Konji himself looked at the girl with pity. After a while of silence someone spoke. Ayanokouji-kun, why don't you go chase her? Said Kishida. Why should I? Ayanokouji replied, leaving Kishida speechless. Not to butt in, but I think Kishida is right, said Karuizawa. I think it would be better if we gave him space to calm down, said Mi-chan against Ayanokouji chasing Shizuku. Part of the class said not to chase her, and another part said yes. Ayanokouji-kun, tell us the truth, who is she to you? Said Matsushita. Ayanokouji shuddered at Matsushida's question. Many thoughts began to run through his mind. Who was she to him? Why now? Why come back now? But there was no doubt she was the same Shizuku that the same Shizuku Suzuki knew. I'll speak very soon. Answering Matsushita's question. She was everything to me, but now she means nothing to me anymore. Her feelings mean nothing to me. You heard me talking. He paused to assess the different reactions of his classmates. Some were scared and others were sweating bullets. They were terrified by his voice. It held no emotion in its words. At this moment, he looked like a monster. You all heard me speak. My words contain no lies. I only spoke the truth and in this case, you should listen to me. I have no remorse for what I said. He looked openly at everyone, his eyes were like an empty horizon. His ugliness was openly presented, something he wanted to hide from everyone. That's bullshit, Ayanokouji-kun. You care about her even with what you just said, Suzuki-san needs space, time to recover, you're giving her that, you know that your presence will hurt her if you leave. Going to see her will hurt her even more, don't lie to yourself. Ayanokouji-kun. Surprising everyone, Karuizawa spoke. After hearing those words, his gaze faltered, he turned to look at her. Then Karuizawa, what should I do? None of you have any idea what I'm thinking right now, I keep my word. I don't care, Ayanokouji replied. The class was divided over what to say to Ayanokouji. Some wanted him to bring back Suzuki. Some wanted her to stay so that the girl could recover. Some really wanted Ayanokouji to make a decision based on his own belief. But what Ayanokouji was going to do depended on his ability to adapt. If he can convince Shizuku to come back, if he can convince her to stay, if he can convince her to trust him once again. I know her, she's a strong girl, said Ayanokouji. But those words the tension vanished. Kushida heard that and spoke. It seems like you really care about her, don't lie anymore. Ayanokouji-kun, you care about her, don't you? He looked back at the door. Everyone followed his gaze. Ayanokouji then spoke. I worry about her, I hate lying about it. However, to find out the truth you heard from Shizuku, it's been 7 years. The class was stunned by what he just said. The door opened, there was Shizuku Suzuki. You care about me, Shizuku said. He paused, making direct eye contact with the boy. Why? Shizuku, I never stopped caring about you. I lie to myself so I don't get hurt. Sometimes it's better to lie than to tell the truth. I lied for another reason, too. He paused, began to move towards the girl. Upon reaching it, he hugged her. Shizuku's face turned red with embarrassment. The hug created a calm atmosphere as most of the girls blushed when they saw him. Even Horikita blushed. I lied because I couldn't believe that the girl I'm hugging right now is the same one I knew. I missed you so much, I'm sorry for what I said. Ayanokouji spoke. I forgive you, Shizuku replied with a smile. Everyone watched the scene between the two boys with affection. Except for Konji, who had a smile on his face. This is fine. First I destroyed Shizuku Suzuki by rejecting her in the middle of class. I made her believe I didn't love her and then I made her think I did. Everything is going according to plan. To me, people are nothing more than tools. No matter the method. No matter what has to be sacrificed in this world. Winning is everything. As long as I win, in the end, that's all that matters. Welcome to the elite class. Sports Festival Part 4. The sports festival begins after Ayanokouji Kiyotaka and Shizuku Suzuki fixed their problems, everything was going very well. The entire school is gathered to celebrate the sports festival, as are the first and third years. Class D is now at an advantage since they have students who play sports, those are Hirata Yasuke, Kishida Kikyu, Onodera Kayano, Ayanokouji Kiyotaka, Shizuku Suzuki, Horikita Suzune, and Kamenji Rakisuke. The latter did not want to help like Horikita, but Ayanokouji managed to make them participate. Since Shizuku Suzuki recently transferred to Class D, she will now help out in any way she can for Ayanokouji. As Ayanokouji, she was in the 4th generation's White Room, but failed the final test. The red team, or Class D and A, are winning. Since they have athletic students, they have an advantage. Narrates Ayanokouji. We're winning, if we win I'll have the confidence of Class D. Now we are in the penultimate game with a few minutes left until it starts. Kiyotaka. Shizuku said. Hello Shizuku I said. Kiyotaka, I have a proposal for you, he said with a sly smile. A proposal? I said curiously. If I win in the next competitive game, I want a favor, he said. If we win, we can earn more points. It's also the penultimate game, followed by a race. Not bad. Alright. End of the Ayanokouji narration. After that brief conversation, Shizuku gave her all in this penultimate game. Winning obviously since what is from the White Room. Now comes the last race. The shot was heard starting the race. Horikita Manabu approached Ayanokouji. I see that your class is making a lot of progress. Our class will reach Class A. I'm not interested in the future. In that case, are you interested in knowing what kind of person I am? That. If you want, we can compete in this race. Interesting. After that conversation they prepared to compete. Excuse me, said the girl. The job. I'll tell you something before we start. What is it? Don't hold back. Senior Horikita showed a smile. Ayanokouji-kun. Kishida shouted. After Horikita's shout, Senior and Ayanokouji started running without holding back. Ayanokouji won first place and Senior Horikita won second place. Class D won this sports festival, gaining the trust of everyone in Class D. So Ayanokouji gained the trust of Class D, you naive fools. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.